We are so specialised in teaching more mature students, so if you're from a diverse background, we fully understand your situation to be able to help you. Particularly if you come with your family, you have other work commitments, then we fully understand that. So our lectures are videoed so that if you miss any lectures, you'll be able to catch up. Our assessments are designed in such a way that, again, if you have to miss one of the assessments, you're not penalised. So the whole system is set up for very much diverse background students, including international students.
We try and make course materials really, really easily accessible for everybody. So we have a virtual learning environment called Moodle, where we put course notes, we put assessments, we put word solutions to things. So the goal is that if you do happen to have to miss a lecture for some reason, we know students have busy lives, maybe they have a work commitment they can't escape, then you ought to be able to get all that stuff online. We also have, if there are any issues and queries that people have about their choice of modules or what they want to study, everyone has a personal tutor assigned to them, and you can go and see your personal tutor whenever you like, just make an appointment and go and see them, and they can give you advice about, study skills, writing for exams, that kind of thing, and how to map your way through your program. Program directors also can do that, of course. But also in the school, and actually in the School of Business, Economics and Informatics, wider than the department, there are learning support staff who are purely there, that's their full-time 100% job, is to help students with things like essay writing skills, study skills, and you can make appointments, they put classes on, or we have a dedicated person for mathematics support. So, if you've come back after a long time of study, you suddenly think, oh, I'm a bit rusty on this bit of algebra, then you can go and make an appointment with them and just go over that little thing that might be causing a slight issue. And then, once you clear up that little problem, then everything else falls into place. So we're really aware that, we have students that are coming from such a wide range of backgrounds that for almost everyone, there'll be some little thing at least that they're a bit rusty on, or they might need a bit of help with. And so we try and put in as much support as possible to help everybody get past those stages.
I wouldn't be here if I couldn't work and do my degree at the same time. So the fact that there's so much support, late lectures, late seminar sessions, there's every night you can come along to a revision session, and it's all after work and all possible to do that. And labs open all weekends, which is very useful towards the end of the degree. But without that, I couldn't be here, and I couldn't have done as well as I did. So.
It can be a bit of a shock to the students, because one thing that I had underestimated before I started working in academia, having done my own first degree here in the UK as well, even though I'm German, is that in many other, even European countries, the assessment at undergraduate level is very, very different. So most of your exams would be multiple choice, for instance, whether you're in Germany or you study in the Netherlands. So coming here and writing not only essays, but for instance, for my modules, they have to write a consultancy pitch, they have to write their own professional development plan in the context of research and evidence. So it's a really, really big step up for a lot of our students.
Sometimes international students just need a little bit of extra help bedding in, and finding out about London. This is such a huge city, it's quite overwhelming. So we buddy up incoming international students at any level from any country with alumni in the UK, mainly based in London, whatever nationality they are, and we pair them up for the first term so that they're able to get a sense of what Birkbeck's all about. Where's the library, how do I get in and out of the college, those sorts of questions, to where do I pick up an Oyster card, how do I get a mobile phone, or if they just like to practice some conversational English and have a friendly face to turn to, then we buddy them up and they are able to do that during the first term and beyond if they want to. But it's a great way for alumni to keep in touch with Birkbeck and still be part of the community and the current life of the college. And it's fantastic for the international students because it really helps them settle in and give them a friendly face whilst they're here in London in their first few weeks.
English has become an international language, but still Birkbeck helps very much the students by providing some courses at the beginning for students which will need to improve their language. And of course London is a city where you can improve your language skills very easily through a variety of different channels, from cinema, theatre, and also speaking with other students and so on. So besides the formal activities such as the language courses that we provide, there is a living environment which helps students to improve their language.
I can see my progress in language. I can see it, you know, it's really amazing. Once you start speaking to people, you get used to use this language. That's really amazing. Both of us, we have been learning English for more than 10 years in China already, but that's so different. Maybe in a native speaker's eyes, that's not called learning English. We learned grammar. We learn English for exams. We don't learn it as a language, as a tool to communication with foreign people. We don't. So, but here, the most challenging thing in language is that we have to speak. We have to open our mouth to speak to people, and in this language.
I think the core asset is to appreciate that the fact that they come from different countries and different contexts is not an handicap for the college, but it is an advantage. And it is an advantage when students are brave enough to speak up and to tell the stories. When you've got a story to tell, you are never alone.
International students shouldn't be shy about contacting their lecturers, the academics. Lecturers expect students to give their opinions about a particular question or a topic, and students shouldn't feel that they need to agree with that academic, that lecturer. It's quite in order to have an opposing view, as long as the student can support that view with evidence. It's not rude, it's not impolite to disagree with an academic or with other students. In fact, it's expected, and that shows that that students are critical thinkers. So it's really important to participate in discussions. It's important to give your opinion, and it's important to support that with evidence. Another thing I would suggest is that it's really useful if students can work in study groups rather than work in isolation, or work with other students from a wide range of nationalities, because what can happen is that students can end up speaking their native tongue, maybe they're thinking in the native tongue, and they're translating all the time into English. I think it's much more effective if students can work with students from a wide range of nationalities. Research has shown that students who work in study groups tend to do better, they tend to get better grades.
Students that I studied with are really dedicated, really ambitious, really inspiring as well. So the people I met, some lifelong friends as well, really pushed each other and supported each other to get through the last 2 years.
A lot of our lecturers run open door policy, whereby students can just drop in and ask questions and talk about what they are learning, and just to have a friendly chat or a friendly conversation. And there are some students whom I see frequently, and they tell me how grateful they are just for the fact that I'm there, that I can give encouragement. I may not answer particularly academic questions, but just to give encouragement, and that's enough for them to get on with their work and continue with their degrees.
One of the reasons why I ended up staying at Birkbeck for a master's and coming back from a PhD is because the academic environment and the accessibility of the lecturers is amazing at Birkbeck. You have open doors. We have a professor in the economics department who always, whenever he's in, he has an open door. And whenever you have a question, you just pop by and ask him anything. It can be from your simple standard econometrics, where you think this is silly, but he takes you very serious and talks you through it and he helps you through it, to the more advanced topics when you're doing your PhD and you're thinking hard about some of the questions about how to solve the problem. And he is always open and accessible.
We adapt in our culture to the culture that the part-time students are used to from their work environment. There, people have to be present, they have to be responsive, and so do we. Moreover, nowadays, a lot of our courses are accessible through the internet. So what that means in terms of my own courses is that for each course I have a web page, so-called Moodle page. That web page contains everything the student would ever need to go through the course. That means that all the course materials, all the slides for the lectures, all the relevant supporting materials, like data sets, computational programming code and so on, is on the web page at the start of the term, so it's immediately accessible. And not only that, my lectures are video recorded, so the student has the possibility to also not just preview the material, but also review the lectures after they took place as many times as they want and find useful. That is, I think, a way how we try to help students engage with the material, keep in touch with the material, especially in courses like my own, where the material builds up cumulatively and where you must not lose the thread of the lectures.
You're a part-time university, you have students who are working in the city, working in consultancies. They have a very short time limit and they're paying a lot of money to do it and they're investing a lot of their spare time to do it. So of course they also demand that the quality of the lectures is matching their efforts.
The quality of teaching is very good in terms of the information provided to the student, how it's provided, the availability on Moodle, beforehand. Also during teaching, like the seminar classes are very good for interaction, discussions, even just to hear, what the lecturer thinks of a certain topic, to hear what other students' experiences are. I think that is a very good integration of the teaching. Also, the lecturers are very forthright. We have a discussion forum on Moodle whereby we can pop questions. They're also very available for one-to-one. I know I have many times, gone up to the lecturer and, asked my question or just given my thoughts about a certain topic or something that I may be thinking about. And we have a discussion. So I think it's very good, it's very open.
We tend to recognize if there are students who are flagging slightly. Our tutors are very well trained to spot any issues. But it goes two ways, because I've had it a number of times now when students have come to me and, there was clearly an issue. It was like, well, Almut, why didn't you help me any earlier? I was, well, you didn't tell me. And really, we can only help if you're being honest and you raise your hand and you say, actually, do you know what? I really do need support. And I think if there's one issue where most of our students require some support is, by far and large, our students come to study with us part-time. There's also an increasing number, though, of students who study full-time. Now, you must realize at Birkbeck, when you study full-time, it means X number of evenings per week and X number of weekends per year. And some of our crafty students have decided it might just be possible to combine full-time work and full-time study. And let me just be really, really honest right here, that doesn't work. full-time commitment to academic study means roughly, we try to estimate it as a ballpark figure, but basically about 37 hours per week. And part-time is half that. So even when you're studying part-time and you're working full-time, you kind of have to resign yourself to the fact that whilst you're studying here, you're not going to have very much of a life outside that, because you can't fast-track academic study. You know, reading an academic paper will take you time, and there is nothing in the whole wide world that will speed that up considerably. It still takes me, yes, okay, I'm better now being an academic, having it done for quite a few years, but it still takes time. And I think that is something where also students have to support themselves and to think really hard about actually what I'm planning to do at the moment. Is that actually feasible for me? So when we notice students struggling, that is often when we call them in just for a friendly chat, and I will have a chat with them about actually what are your work commitments at the moment, how much time are you managing to devote to your study, and actually is that realistic? A bit of a reality check. So I think that is a really important process of what we do for students here.
I would, definitely. And I mean, testament for that is that I'm back myself, you know, for my human resource management. Why didn't I go to another college? It's because of the experience I had here during my undergraduate course. So yes, I would recommend it to anyone who's looking for evening study and in a mature and very supportive environment.